Say then, Queen, do you remember me?" "We have met in dreams," she answered. "I think that we have met in the past that is far away. Yes, I knew it when first I saw you there by the river. Stranger with the well remembered face, tell me, I pray you, how you are named." "Leo Vincey." She shook her head, whispering, "I know not the name, yet you I know." "You know me? How do you know me?" he said heavily, and seemed to sink again into slumber or swoon. She watched him for a while very intently. Then as though some force that she could not resist drew her, I saw her bend down her head over his sleeping face. Yes, and I saw her kiss him swiftly on the lips, then spring back crimson to the hair, as though overwhelmed with shame at this victory of her mad passion. Now it was that she discovered me. Bewildered, fascinated, amazed, I had raised myself upon my bed, not knowing it. I suppose that I might see and hear the better. It was wrong, doubtless, but no common curiosity overmastered me, who had my share in all this story. More, it was foolish, but illness and wonder had killed my reason. Yes, she saw me watching them, and such fury seemed to take hold of her that I thought my hour had come. "Man, have you dared?" she said in an intense whisper and snatching at her girdle. Now in her hand shone a knife, and I knew that it was destined for my heart. Then in this sore danger my wit came back to me, and as she advanced I stretched out my shaking hand, saying, "Oh, of your pity, give me to drink. The fever burns me, it burns." And I looked round like one bewildered who sees not, repeating, "Give me drink, you who are called Guardian." And I fell back exhausted. She stopped like a hawk in its stoop, and swiftly sheathed the dagger. Then taking a bowl of milk that stood on a table near her, she held it to my lips, searching my face, the while with their flaming eyes, for indeed passion, rage, and fear had lit them till they seemed to flame. I drank the milk in great gulps, though never in my life did I find it more hard to swallow. "You tremble," she said. "Have dreams haunted you?" "Aye, friend," I answered, "dreams of that fearsome precipice and of the last leap." "Aught else?" she asked. "Nay, is it not enough? Oh, what a journey to have taken to befriend a queen!" "To befriend a queen?" she repeated puzzled. "What means the man? You swear you have had no other dreams." "Aye, I swear by the symbol of life and the mount of the wavering flame and by yourself, O Queen, from the ancient days." Then I sighed and pretended to swoon, for I could think of nothing else to do. As I closed my eyes I saw her face that had been red as dawn turn pale as eve, for my words and all which might lie behind them had gone home. Moreover, she was in doubt, for I could hear her fingering the handle of the dagger. Then she spoke aloud, words for my ears if they still were open. "I am glad," she said, "that he dreamed no other dreams, since had he done so and babbled of them it would have been ill omened, and I do not wish that one who has travelled far to visit us should be hurled to the death dogs for burial, one, moreover, who although old and hideous, still has the air of a wise and silent man." Now while I shivered at these unpleasant hints, though what the death dogs in which people were buried might be, I could not conceive, to my intense joy I heard the foot of the Guardian on the stairs, heard him too enter the room and saw him bow before the lady. "How go these sick men, niece?" [Footnote: I found later that the Khania, Atene, was not Simbri's niece, but his great niece, on the mother's side.] End of footnote, he said in his cold voice. "They swoon, both of them," she answered. "Indeed, is it so? I thought otherwise. I thought they woke." "What have you heard, Shaman?" she asked angrily. I? Oh, I heard the grating of a dagger in its sheath, and the distant baying of the death hounds. "And what have you seen, Shaman?" she asked again, looking through the gate you guard. "Strange sight, Khania, my niece. But men awake from swoons." "Aye," she answered. "So while this one sleeps, bear him to another chamber, for he needs change, and the lord yonder needs more space and untainted air." The Guardian, whom he called Shaman or Magician, held a lamp in his hand, and by its light it was easy to see his face, which I watched out of the corner of my eyes. I thought that it wore a very strange expression, one moreover that alarmed me somewhat. From the beginning I had misdoubted me of this old man, whose cast of countenance was vindictive as it was able. Now I was afraid of him. "To which chamber, Khania?" he said with meaning. "I think," she answered slowly, "to one that is healthful, where he will recover. The man has wisdom," she added as though in explanation. "Moreover, having the words from the Mountain, to harm him would be dangerous. But why do you ask?" He shrugged his shoulders. "I tell you I heard the death hounds bay, that is all. Yes, with you I think that he has wisdom, and the bee which seeks honey should suck the flower before it fades. Also, as you say, there are commands with which it is ill to trifle, even if we cannot guess their meaning." Then going to the door he blew upon his whistle, and instantly I heard the feet of his servants upon the stairs. He gave them an order, and gently enough they lifted the mattress on which I lay, and followed him down sundry passages and past some stairs, into another chamber, shaped like that we had left, but not so large, where they placed me upon a bed. The Guardian watched me awhile to see that I did not wake. Next he stretched out his hand and felt my heart and pulse, an examination the results of which seemed to puzzle him, for he uttered a little exclamation and shook his head. After this he left the room, and I heard him bolt the door behind him. Then, being still very weak, I fell asleep in earnest. When I awoke it was broad daylight. My mind was clear and I felt better than I had done for many a day, signs by which I knew that the fever had left me and that I was on the right road to recovery. Now I remembered all the events of the previous night and was able to weigh them carefully. This, to be sure, I did for many reasons, among them that I knew I had been and still was in great danger. I had seen and heard too much, and this woman called Khania guessed that I had seen and heard. Indeed, had it not been for my hints about the Symbol of Life and the Mount of Flame, after I had disarmed her first rage by my artifice, I felt sure that she would have ordered the old Guardian, or Shaman, to do me to death in this way or the other. Sure also that he would not have hesitated to obey her. I had been spared partly because, for some unknown reason, she was afraid to kill me, and partly that she might learn how much I knew, although the death hounds that bayed, whatever that might mean. Well, up to the present I was safe, and for the rest I must take my chance. Moreover, it was necessary to be cautious, and if need were, to feign ignorance. So, dismissing the matter of my own fate from my mind, I fell to considering the scene which I had witnessed and what might be its purport. Was our guest at an end? Was this woman Ayesha? Leo had so dreamed, but he was still delirious, therefore here was little on which to lean. What seemed more to the point was that she herself evidently appeared to think that there existed some tie between her and the sick man. Why had she embraced him? I was sure that she could be no wanton, nor indeed would any woman indulge for its own sake in such folly with a stranger who hung between life and death. What she had done was done because irresistible impulse, born of knowledge, or at least of memories, drove her on, though mayhap the knowledge was imperfect and the memories were undefined. Who save Ayesha could have known anything?